Nagpur University from 2017 to 2022. She was chairman ad hoc board of study in law RTMNU. She is in the editorial committee of humanities journal RTM Nagpur University. Dr. Vijeta Ji UK has participated in various international and national seminars and conferences. She has more than 13 research papers publication to her credit in various national journals, seminar proceeding having ISSN, ISBN numbers. She successfully completed international research projects received from Raoul Wallenberg Institute of Human Rights and Humanitarian Law, Sweden, project entitled Model Handbook on Implementation of SDGs by the Local Government for Protecting Human Rights related to Environment Protection and Gender Equality in 2021. She has received university research project entitled Critical Evaluation of the Viability of Contract in terms of governance by social media platform with special reference to principles of rule of law and constitutionalism in India. So, ma'am will today speak up on the topic of e-commerce in India. I heartily welcome you, ma'am, to the session. Thank you, and over to you. And participants, if you have any questions, please post it on the chat box. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, students. Hope this is the last session for today's, your PhD course. And today we will be dealing with the topic that is e-commerce in India. Actually, I'm going to line up this e-commerce, the basic understanding of the e-commerce, plus the competition, how it is affecting the e-commerce and how the competition act or the competition law is facing the e-commerce. Do you have any idea about what e-commerce is all about? A very basic idea.
Online shopping.
Trading by you. Yes.
Trading with use of net.
Any
Online marketing,
commercial
selling and buying.
activity you do online or through online means?
Commercial activity done with the platform of internet and electronic
So
medium.
yes, exactly. The online platform is very important. Then buying and selling is very important. So this is all about the e-commerce. You have given me the definition of e-commerce. Now directly coming to the understanding of e-commerce, because my topic is quite, I have to make you understand with the e-commerce, the models, and then to the competition law. So I will move forward because 5 baje tak ka hi samay hai. So we'll directly start with the lecture. So first of all, one question to you, that how many of you having the e-commerce as their PhD in their PhD title, or having or doing PhD in this e-commerce? Nobody?
No, ma'am.
Nobody. Okay. So I think somebody in competition law.
No.
One of them I was having no, somebody is there with the combination in the competition region. Somebody is there. So okay, directly coming to the understanding of the yes.
Pardon?
Padma, can I move forward?
Please continue, ma'am. Please continue. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So the understanding first will deal with the what is e-commerce. You have given me the definition that what is e-commerce. There is an integration of technology and the commerce that resulted in the e-commerce in the world. Now, why I'm talking about the e-commerce? Because it consists of the sale, it consists of purchase, it consists of transfer and exchange of the products, services, and information. These three are there: products or the goods, services, and information. Now, the use of internet has been increasing day by day, and the report of the Statistica says that the use of internet is about 50% across the world. That is 4.6% of the world population. Some of the countries like Norway, UAE, European and American countries, and China, India are in the race, and they are using 99% of the internet all the day. If it talks about internet, it means that we are having access to all those sectors, all those corners of that is available in the internet. And one of the part is the e-commerce. And India is more focusing on the e-commerce. The revenue generation, if you see the last point, the revenue generation from the e-commerce is projected to reach the 63.17 billion US dollar in the financial year 2023. This has been projected. Now coming to the 2013, 2019, if you see 2019 figure, the India reached a size of around 32 billion US dollar. Now see the difference, it has doubled. Now double because of the post-COVID. One of the reasons post-COVID, जहाँ हम कोई काम नहीं करते थे, घर पे बैठे थे, मोबाइल देख रहे थे, बस इतना ही काम कर रहे थे. Now e-commerce is also काफी ज्यादा boom हो गया, and we have get into the habit of somebody is disturbing Padma. किसी की आवाज आ रही है.
Mute your audio system. Participants, kindly mute your audio system. And
Abid, mute those
interrupt
person.
you, ma'am, but your slide show is showing the first slide only.
हाँ तो मैं first slide पे ही हूँ पद्मा.
Okay. The intro.
Okay. So revenue generation. So revenue generation from the e-commerce that was projected in 2013 or revenue generation जो हुआ है in 2013. See the difference, we have doubled it, and the reason is the post COVID का जितना भी era था, what we have वो used to हो गया या habit हो गई, and e-commerce has become a part of our life. Now coming to the next slide, what definition they have given. First of all, there is no narrow definition. There is
the first slide only, the introduction slide.
wait.
Yeah, now we can see.
What you can see. अच्छा ये मैं slide show नहीं करूँ क्या? ये दिखेगा नहीं आपको?
So we are see, actually it was stuck to the first slide only. Now we can see your slide are changing.
I am not able to see the chat box क्योंकि मैं जब sharing पे होती हूँ तो WebEx नहीं रहेगा. आबिद, can you please help me कि ये दिख रहा है आपको? Third slide.
Yes, ma'am. Understanding e-commerce
दिख रहा
की
है
slide
ना?
दिख रही है.
Second, third number की slide, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, it's visible. It's visible.
Wait. मैं वापस कर देती हूँ.
Third number की slide.
मैं वापस sharing पे डाल रही हूँ. Okay, now.
Oh, ma'am.
See, this is first slide. This is second slide. Understanding
not
of
visible.
e-commerce.
Not visible, ma'am.
Ma'am, your WebEx.
Your WebEx is visible, ma'am.
So can you switch to
My
the PPT?
WebEx.
अच्छा, WebEx
WebEx screen is visible.
Yes.
अच्छा, WebEx screen is visible. Yes, no concrete definition is there. The definition is inclusive one. Three factors are very common in the e-commerce definition, that is selling, buying of the goods, services, including the informations also. So these elements are there in the e-commerce. Now the Department for the Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, FDI policy 2017, tries to define the e-commerce means buying and selling of goods and services, including digital products over the digital and the electronic network. Then Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has also tried to define the e-commerce is a unique type of business model or the segment of a larger business model that enables a firm or an individual to conduct the business over an electronic network, typically the internet. Electronic commerce operates in all four of the major market segments: business to business, business to consumer, consumer to consumer, and consumer to business. Consumer Protection Act 2019 also tries to define the e-commerce. Again, the same ingredients are there: buying and selling of the goods and services, including the digital products over the digital or the electronic network. So buying and selling of the goods or services or the information on the digital platform or in the internet. These three elements is very important in order to define the e-commerce. Coming to what it covers, the e-commerce covers e-commerce as well as the business. Now these two words are different in concept, but yes, they are used synonymous है. Simultaneously दोनों एक में के लिए use होते हैं, but they are quite different. Now e-commerce refers to the performing the online commercial transaction and activities over the internet. E-business refers to performing every types of business activity through the internet. We can say that e-business, e-commerce is a subset of e-business. E-commerce includes selling and buying products, making monetary transactions, etc. over the internet. And e-business includes the customer education, procurement of raw materials, supply activities, making monetary transactions, and other all things over the internet. Now, internet is very important. Every electronic means is important in both of this e-commerce and for the e-business. Now, e-commerce is appropriate in a B2C, that is business to customer context. In e-business is appropriate for business to business context. Coming to the classification of e-commerce. Now, how we going to classify the e-commerce? Now, first is the participator. Now, in the participator, you can see the models of e-commerce are there. Participators means the participants in the transactions. Like, as I told you in the last slide, there was business to business, business to consumer, government to consumer, consumer to consumer. These are the participators. On the basis of this participators, the classification or that one of the type of e-commerce is there, which is also called as the models of e-commerce. Now, next classification is the goods and services. What kind of goods or services are in the e-commerce? Then the business model or consequence of business models are there in the e-commerce. Now, coming to the first, the participatory in the transactions. कितने कितने participators होते हैं? Now, B2B is the business to business. आपको पता है कि दो लोगों के बीच में buying and selling of products will be of the business to business. Then B2C रहेगा कि that business to consumer. बिजनेस टू कंज्यूमर मैं जब बोलूंगी तो यू नो कि कौन कौन इसमें आ जाता है, जहां पे बाइंग एंड सेलिंग ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट्स और द सर्विसेज इज बिटवीन द बिजनेस टू कंज्यूमर. अब बिग टेक कंपनीज आपको ध्यान आ जाएगी कि कौन से कंपनीज इनपे हैं जहां पे B2C सर्विसेज होती है. इसमें अमेजोन भी आ गया, स्नैपडील्स भी आ गया, फ्लिपकार्ट भी आ गया, मिंत्रा आ गया. ऑल दो सर्विसेज जो जहां पे एक प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड होता है बिजनेस वालों का एंड बिजनेस टू कंज्यूमर जहां पे ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं. नाउ C2C. अब कंज्यूमर टू कंज्यूमर क्या है? कंज्यूमर टू कंज्यूमर इसमें एक ऐसा होता है कि कंज्यूमर टू कंज्यूमर के बीच में ट्रांजैक्शन है, लेकिन एक थर्ड पार्टी इसमें रहती है, दैट इज द इंटरमीडियरी, जो प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करती है जहां पे कंज्यूमर कैन सेल द प्रोडक्ट्स विद अदर कंज्यूमर. यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे एग्जांपल्स है, आई थिंक OLX वगैरह, कार वाला. These are the examples where jahan pe platforms are there, electronic platforms are available for the e-commerce where the consumer can transact with the consumer. So on the basis of participator, the transactions, we have B2B, that is business to business. We have B2C, very common nowadays. Now C2C is also getting very common, jahan pe platform milta hai that consumer can transact with the other consumer. Next is G2B. This is government to business. अब गवर्नमेंट टू बिजनेस में यहाँ पे आप देखो कि दैट whether the government want any legal documents from it or any data or any informations of the business, या फिर कोई registration process है या renewal of licenses है या कोई new unit खोलना है. Company laws के अंदर भी there is that you can register your company online. So these all things comes under G2B, that is government to business. Now coming to business to government. Now business to government में है कि that the business is providing the platform to the government or the government's rules and regulations they have to follow. And in G2C there is the government to consumer, जहाँ पे आपकी ID cards और licenses जो बनते हैं, vehicle licenses, such kind of services can comes under the G2C services, G2C transactions. So these are the first classification जो हमने पहले देखा, B2B, B2C and C2C. Then G2B, that is government to business, business to government and government to consumer. So these are the one of the classification of e-commerce. Next classification is the goods and services. कौन से goods and services जो है जो online available है, आपको पता है what are goods and services हम लोग add to cart करते जाते हैं. Now the goods that are that is beauty के रहेंगे, clothing, ये सारे चीजें हैं जो गुड्स के हम लोग ई कॉमर्स में देखेंगे कि ये सारे गुड्स और सर्विसेज अवेलेबल है. सर्विसेज में नाउअडेज क्लीनिंग सर्विसेज एंड अदर ऑल सर्विसेज भी टिकटिंग आ गया है या आपका हॉलीडे प्लानिंग वगैरह, दीज ऑल सर्विसेज आर अवेलेबल. डिजिटल गुड्स में आप देखो वॉट एवर द सॉफ्टवेयर, कहीं कहीं आप सॉफ्टवेयर कुछ डाउनलोड करने की कोशिश करते हो या प्लेगरिज्म सॉफ्टवेयर आप लेने की कोशिश करते हो तो कहीं फ्री होता है, कहीं पेड होता है. तो दीज आर the goods and services, one of the kind of e-commerce. Next is business model. Business models is also one of the classification of e-commerce, that that is dropshipping, private labeling, white labeling, warehousing. ये होते क्या है? Now, dropshipping is the retailers may partner with the wholesale supplier who stores the inventories and delivers the items directly to the customer upon the purchase. Now, the seller saves on the inventory cost. यहाँ पे बस एक tie up होता है with the suppliers के साथ और वो direct बस order लेंगे and directly they will deliver it to the customer on demand or on purchase. Warehousing क्या है? The retailers may purchase goods from the manufacturer, manage their own warehouse, and organize the delivery to the customer. For example, then private labeling क्या है? Now retailers may outsource manufacturing and sell goods under their own brand name. On-demand manufacturing allows retailer to have their goods designed in the line with their specification. For example, grooming या personal care के कोई products होते हैं या services होते हैं या pet के foods और accessories होते हैं, that comes under the private labeling. जहाँ पे outsourcing, there is a outsourcing with the retailer and the sale of the goods with their own brand name. Now, white labeling also is having the outsourcing of the products or the services. For example, यहाँ पे मैंने जैसे दिया है, for example, is the identical T-shirt which is manufactured by the factory. और वो identical T-shirt कोई भी color की identical T-shirt रहेगी, that can be resold to more than one store and they can insert their own label and they can sell it. So this is very common in the textile industry, cosmetic and LED lights. Coming to the on the basis of this classification, हमने अब तक classification देखा, हमने देखा classification based on the participators, goods and services, जो whatever the available and business models कौन सा है. Now these three अब जो classification है is again divided into the inventory model and marketplace model. Now inventory model क्या है? Inventory model of e-commerce means an e-commerce activity where the inventory goods or services is owned by the e-commerce entity and is sold to the consumer directly. आजकल अब देखो most of the brands are having their own website जहाँ से they are having their own e-commerce businesses. उनके खुद के website से वो लोग consumers को directly supply करते हैं their goods or services. So they are called as the inventory model. Now, marketplace model क्या है? Marketplace models provides a centralized platform to the multiple seller where they can sell their product while connecting with the potential customers. तो एग्जाम्पल देने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये डेफिनेशन जो मैं पढ़ रही हूँ मार्केटप्लेस की, आपको ध्यान आ जाएगा कि कौन से कंपनीज और कौन से कंपनीज आप देखते हो ई कॉमर्स के अंदर जो प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करते हैं जहाँ पे मल्टीपल सेलर्स रहेंगे और मल्टीपल और पोटेंशियल कस्टमर्स को वो अपने तरफ खींचते हैं. सो मार्केट प्लेस मॉडल जो है they work as an intermediaries. अब intermediaries के लिए भी आपने देखा there are rules which are available under the IT Act. Even the rule of 2021 of the digital media ethics भी इनके लिए बनाए गए हैं जहाँ पे they have to follow certain rules which are provided under the digital ethics rules 2021. Inventory models भी है. Now these two are governed under the consumer protection e-commerce rule. आप e-commerce rule आप देखोगे तो उसके अंदर these two के duties are defined under the Consumer Protection Act. Now, why e-commerce in India? If you go to the report of the IBEF, you can see why the e-commerce is very important in India. First, it attracts the opportunity. Attractive opportunities are there in India. काफी सारे opportunities available है. For example, if you make the policy very transparent, that for example, मेरे first slide में मैंने कहा था कि the revenue projection which was made by the Indian government that कितना था शायद 64 के आसपास था. So this means that there is a clarity and transparency and they have to achieve it, and that's why the good opportunities or attractive opportunities को मान के the FDIs are coming here. Now growing demands are also there. ग्रोइंग डिमांड्स में यहाँ पे डिमांड्स भी काफी है ई कॉमर्स को लेके, प्रोडक्ट्स को लेके, सर्विसेज को लेके. सो दैट्स व्हाई वन ऑफ द रीजन फॉर द ई कॉमर्स इन इंडिया इज दैट देयर इज अ ग्रोइंग डिमांड. ह्यूज पॉपुलेशन इज देयर. चाइना के बाद इंडिया ही आएगा जहाँ पे ई कॉमर्स का सबसे ज्यादा सेल, सबसे ज्यादा दे आर गोइंग टू कम्पीट विद ब्रिक एंड मॉर्टर या इक्वली खड़े हो जाएंगे ब्रिक एंड मॉर्टर के साथ. देन पॉलिसी सपोर्ट. यस, पॉलिसी सपोर्ट में इसलिए बोल रही हूँ क्योंकि मार्केट प्लेस जो हमने वन ऑफ द क्लासिफिकेशन जो पिछले स्लाइड में देखा था, दैट मार्केट प्लेस के लिए The FDI, 100% FDI is been allowed by the Indian government from the automatic route. They don't have to take the permission from the Indian government. Automatic route say 100% FDI is there. So policy support is also plays a very important role in order to attract. The next point is the increasing investment. ताकि investment हमारा बने. So these four are interconnected with each other. First to have the good opportunities जो government की है, जो हमारे पास demand and supply है, that good opportunities हमारे पास attractive opportunities रहनी चाहिए in the e-commerce. Then growing demand, yes, with the population and the growing demand for the e-commerce या transactions जितने हो रहे हैं, there is a growing demand and policy support. The government is supposed to frame the policy easy and transparent also, so that the good investment should be there or coming up in India. So these are the four factors which has been identified the IBEF. आप जाके भी देखोगे उनके वेबसाइट में, just log in और वहां जाके you just go through the report which they have prepared, that e-commerce for 2023. Now, what are the rules and regulations that governs the e-commerce? First of all, the consumer protection laws and rules are there. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कि consumer protection rules are also there for the e-commerce. And Information Technology Act, not directly, but relevant provisions are there. Then Income Tax Act is there, Foreign Exchange Management Act is there, Companies Act is there, and most important is the competition law. And now I'm going to focus more on the competition law and why. You are going to get the answer. First of all, the competition law has proven to be more directly applicable to the e-commerce companies rather than the traditional laws. Yes, अभी क्यों वो next slide में आपको पता चलेगा. Now, traditional principles of the consumer preference, product sustainability, and the business efficiency cannot be directly applied to the e-commerce space, as most transactions involve only a virtual interface with a product or service. The presence of the intermediaries in the e-commerce industry creates a room for the more complex problem of competition law. Now, why? The Competition Commission of India has presented or released its report on 8th January 2020 with that entitles the Market Study on E-commerce in India, where they had outlined that commerce has gained a much more important or importance from all the sectors. Now, huge number of products or goods are sold online in India, and these includes mobile phones, all types of electronic products, appliances, lifestyle goods, groceries also. These are the huge products are in transaction hai e-commerce ke andar, and that has been mentioned in the report which is presented by the CCI. Now, what is the opinion of the CCI in this? That the online and the offline market could be considered as a distinct market, and therefore online market alone may be characterized as relevant market. ये उनके report में, if you see the report of these CCI जो generate हुआ था 2020 में, वहां भी उन्होंने कहा था कि that online and offline market could be considered as a distinct market, and therefore the online market alone may be characterized as a relevant market. Okay, now coming to this point, the presence of the intermediary in the e-commerce industry creates a room for the more complex problem in the competition. Why I have said so, and why I am focusing on the competition law with reference to e-commerce. First of all, there is a price parity is there, price parity is there. Secondly, आप देखते होंगे कि there is deep discounting are available in the e-commerce platforms, which is not available in the traditional market or brick and mortar. Then there is the other issue of search ranking, कि कौन से प्रोडक्ट ऊपर दिखने चाहिए, कौन से प्रोडक्ट्स हमें हिडन दिखते हैं, हमें ढूंढना पड़ता है उनके सर्च बॉक्स में जाके. These are the issues जो e-commerce के लिए nowadays is getting more complex problem for the competition law to tackle with all this problem. First of all, evidence की lack होता है, evidence lacking है यहाँ पे. So that's why these are four issues that has been raised in various cases. And what we have to see ki how the CCI or the Competition Commission of India tries to deal with कि कैसे online market और फिर e-commerce and traditional market are considered as same या फिर वो different माने जाए.
Sorry, ma'am.
So coming to the snap.
Sorry to intervene, but the slides are stuck at slide number 3. We are not able to see.
Yes, ma'am, we weren't able to see any slide.
मैं अभी आपको कौन सा स्लाइड दिख रहा है?
18 Snapdeal
ये
closed.
18 वाला स्लाइड आपको नहीं दिखा या उसके पहले की स्लाइड्स यू आर नॉट एबल टू सी?
It was stuck at slide 3 only since quite long.
जो पहले इंटरप्ट करके
Give it a glance of slide once more. Just show us once.
व्हाट?
Just,
If it is possible, just show us once again the slides for some seconds so that we can see it.
if
Okay,
you
now you are able to see my
comfortable-
slide or not?
Can you just mail the slides if you're comfortable with it, like after the session? Just
Of course, no, I cannot mail the slide. I
okay,
cannot.
sorry.
But there are
sorry.
the, you see, if you want, I can repeat it.
Yeah, you repeat it, ma'am. That would be good.
Okay, this I am in 4th slide now. This is visible to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Fourth slide is
Now what?
visible.
अच्छा, tell me one thing. छोड़ो ना slide को. अभी तक क्या समझा?
We understood
मैं
because
बोल तो रही थी.
Yeah, we understood what you said, but then to remember it, because we need to write assignments and also it would be good if we see slides, so it will be good for us to note down some points actually.
Okay, then from slide 4, shall I start?
Yeah.
See, other two, the previous slides were all about the understanding of e-commerce. As I told you, 3 factors are very important for writing the what is e-commerce, that is buying and selling, or buying and selling of what? Goods, services, or information. Third is the online platform. Okay, so these 3 ingredients are very important in order to define or understand the e-commerce. There is no concrete definition or no bottle-tight definition for the e-commerce. Now coming to slide number 4. Now it is visible.
And you need to click actually in every slide. Like you need to click on
I know.
fourth slide now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
now
I'll
it-
click. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see, the e-commerce covers the commerce or the business. These two, the commerce and e-business, e-commerce and e-business, they are used. दोनों एक में के साथ यूज होता है. For e-commerce, e-business हमारे लिए same है, but conceptually they are different. The differences which I have made here, that first, e-commerce refers to performing online commercial transactions and activities over the internet. E-business refers to performing every type of business activity through the internet. Now, 5th slide, okay? E-commerce includes selling, buying products, making monetary transaction, etc. over the internet. E-business includes customer education, procurement of raw material, supply activities, making monetary transaction over the internet. E-commerce is very appropriate for business to consumer or business to customer, that is B2C. Then e-business is very appropriate for business to business. Now we can say that the e-business is having the big horizon, and e-commerce is a subset or is a part of e-business. Now coming to the classification, I am in 6th slide now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the classification of e-commerce. Now we have understood कि definition क्या है, concept क्या है, now what includes under the e-commerce, e-commerce और e-business क्या होता है. Now coming to the classification of e-commerce. Now types of e-commerce क्या है, और classification of e-commerce depends on participation, who are participating in the transactions. Then goods and services, कौन से goods and services e-commerce में available है. Now कौन सा type का business models are available in the e-commerce. ठीक है. Now first we will look to the participatory. Participatory में first is the B2B. 2 participators will be there, that is business to business रहेगा. Then business to business में buying and selling of products or informations or data will be for business to business रहेगा. Then next is participation जो रहेंगे B2C में, वहां पे रहेगा business to consumer और business to customer. Now you know कि यहाँ पे कौन कौन आने वाला है. यहाँ पे Amazon, Flipkart, ये सारे चीज, ये बड़े बड़े big techs है जहाँ business to consumer models में आते हैं. अगर आप देखोगे दिस participatories को एक और नाम है, that is models of e-commerce. ये various models of e-commerce है which is recognized all over the world. Now B2C is very common, and now next one is a C2C. The C2C is the consumer to consumer. Consumer to consumer में buying and selling of products online हो रहा है. But the third one which is involved here is the platform. Platform जरूरी है. Platform is very essential for the customers कि वो deal कर सके एक में के साथ, और buying and selling can be there. So third party which is involved in the C2C is the intermediaries. हम उसको बोल सकते हैं कि intermediaries है, और intermediaries is providing the platform for the customer to have the buying and selling of the products or the services or the information. Next is the G2B, that is government to business, where government to business अगर है तो जैसे मैंने explanation में last वक्त को बताया भी था कि that nowadays the filing of the company or the registration of the company take place online. So this is the government to business transactions. यहाँ पे है, दो parties are involved in it, the government and business parties are involved in it. और फिर next है B2G. B2G में business is supposed to follow the government's policies, whatever the policy, rules and regulation, they have to work within the parameter of it. Then G2C, आपको G2C में आप देखोगे कि driving license for examples है, आपकी IDs for examples है, जहाँ पे the services is directly provided to the consumer or the customers. So these are the 6 models or the 6 transaction participators transactions hai which take place in the e-commerce, that is B2B, business to business, business to consumer, C2C, that is consumer to consumer, government to business, business to government and government to customer. यहाँ तक समझ गया? I'm
Yes, ma'am.
in ninth slide, okay? Now, next classification for the e-commerce is the goods, services and digital goods. अब कौन से goods है, कौन से services that are available on e-commerce और digital goods कौन से हैं? मैंने शायद आपको digital goods में I have given the example of plagiarism software, जैसे that is somehow it is freely available, फिर कहीं तो भी paid है, वो जो paid हम कर नहीं सकते, where the institution requires. So these are the digital goods that are available on the e-commerce or the platform. Then goods, आपको पता है कि ये इसको कोई discussion करने की there is no need of any discussion कि कौन से goods are available on the e-commerce. Now everything is available on e-commerce. Services also hotel services है, hotel bookings है, आपकी plannings रहती है, wedding plannings हो या फिर holiday plannings हो, ये सारे services भी nowadays is getting more importance, और बहुत लोग इसको importance भी दे रहे हैं, अपने life में वो use भी कर रहे हैं. So these are the goods and services are available on e-commerce, or one of the classification of e-commerce. Now coming to the next is the business models. Now what business models they have adopted for in e-commerce? अब ये देखो इसमें है drop shipping है, private labeling is also there, white labeling is there and warehousing. Now coming to what is drop shipping, retailers may partners with the wholesale supplier who stores the inventories and delivers the purchased or the ordered items directly to the customers upon the purchase. यहाँ पे direct there is the agreement between the retailer and the wholesaler, and that person will directly deliver to the customer. That is called as drop shipping. And drop shipping का disadvantage, one of the disadvantage is that they cannot build their goodwill, they cannot have their own लोगों के खुद के labelings नहीं होते या फिर उनका कोई नाम नहीं रहता है, वो just provide the services. Now warehousing, the retailer may purchase goods from the manufacturer, manage their own warehouse and organize the delivery to the customers. यहाँ पे blue dart है, गति limit है. These are the examples of the warehousing. Next slide is the 12th slide, okay? Now private labeling भी एक part है business model का, where the retailer may outsource the manufacturing and sell the goods under their own brand name. On demand, the manufacturer allows the retailer to have their goods designed according to their own specifications. And for example, यहाँ पे आपके beauty products है, beauty personal care services है, और accessories of the pet or foods. These are some of the services where the private labeling they can have their own label. Manufacturer कोई और रहेगा and retailer या बेचने वाला कोई और रहेगा, तो वहाँ पे वो they can have their own private labeling. Then white labeling, the outsourcing of the product or services. अब यहाँ पे outsourcing product or services होगी. For example, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे दिया है कि the identical t-shirts manufactured by the factory, same color की t-shirt है, and that can be resold to more than one stores. By inserting their own label, they can resell it उनके खुद के label लगा के. That is called as white labeling. Now coming to ये which is very important, that is inventory model and marketplace model. This is too is very important. On the basis of the classification we have seen earlier, further it is divided into two model: inventory model and marketplace model. The inventory model of the e-commerce is an e-commerce activity where the inventory of goods and services is owned by the e-commerce entity and sold directly to the consumer. यहाँ पे काफी सारे एग्जांपल्स है, अगर देखना चाहो तो आप बाटा का देख सकते हो. बाटा is having their own bricks and mortar traditional market भी है उसका, and they are having the online services also. So the companies या तो खुद के जो brands है, they can have their own website जहाँ पे they can directly deal with the customer. उसके बाद है marketplace model. Now marketplace model, as I told you, it is very common, जहाँ पे एक centralized platform will be there for the seller, multiple sellers will be there, they will attract the customers, potential customers attract करेंगे by selling their product services. So the marketplace provides a centralized platform to the multiple seller where they can sell their products while connecting with the potential customer. Now marketplace models के बारे में मैंने आपको एक और चीज बताई थी कि marketplace models में FDI is 100% allowed to the automatic route. So and marketplace की duties are given under the Consumer Protection Act. मैंने आपको जैसे कहा था कि that e-commerce, consumer protection e-commerce rules के अंदर भी है, and the intermediaries को भी define किया गया है under the IT Act also and under the digital ethics code of the rules to 2021 जो recently आया हुआ है, and where the intermediaries की duties, उनकी liabilities, उसकी accountability define की है. So marketplace model plays a very important role in the e-commerce. ये बहुत ही common चीज है e-commerce में marketplace model. जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा था कि this I'm in slide number 14, okay? According to the IBEF report on e-commerce in India, आप लोग जाके ये report को जरूर देखना, where the prediction has been made why e-commerce is very important in India. Why? अब 4 point they have told us कि क्या क्या important चीजें रहनी चाहिए. Why it is very important to us. First of all, attractive opportunities रहेगी. Attractive opportunities will be for the customers, consumers. Overall consumers के लिए हर कोई attraction का काम कर रहा है. So attractive opportunities will be there. Growing demands है e-commerce के अंदर. Then policy support है. The government has to make the policy which is very easy for the companies to come up and have their e-commerce business in India. So which will lead to the investment, a good investment in India. So that's why this four, as I told you, this four are interconnected with each other. That is the attractive opportunity, growing demand, policy support and increasing investment. ये increase investment होगा जब ये तीनों चीजें साथ में एक साथ चलेगी. Now what are the rules and regulations for the I'm in slide number 15 ना. Rules and regulations क्या रहेंगे? Now rules and regulations for this e-commerce are first कौन-कौन इनको govern करेगा? That is the Consumer Protection Law and Rules, Information Technology Act, Income Tax Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Companies Act and Competition Law. And as I told you, I will be focusing on the competition law. Why? Because competition law, ये जो last line है, I am in slide number 16, उसका last point देखो. The presence of intermediaries in the e-commerce industry creates a more complex problem of competition law. As you all know, the competition law stands on 4 pillars. पहला pillar है उसका कि anti-competitive agreements नहीं होने चाहिए, कोई exclusive agreement या ऐसा कोई agreement नहीं होना चाहिए where you restrict the other competitors to come up. Second, there is the abuse of dominance position. आप abuse of dominance positions करके you restricting the other competitors to come, and there will not be any healthy competition. Then there is the combination also, and last one is the CCI. Fourth pillar is the CCI, that is Competition Commission of India. Now the cases which are coming to the Competition Commission of India, shows us how their approaches are towards the e-commerce and towards the brick and mortars or the traditional markets. The competition law has proven to be more directly applicable to the e-commerce company rather than the traditional laws. Traditional principles of consumer preference, product suitability, business efficiency cannot be directly applied to the e-commerce space, as most transactions involve only virtual interface with the product service. The last point is the presence of intermediaries in the e-commerce industry create a room for more complex situations for the competition law. How? Now, see, the Competition Commission report was released on 8 January 2020 with the name Market Study on E-commerce in India, where they have given the findings that online commerce has gained more importance from all the sectors. उसमें सारे services आ गए, hotel services आ गए, सारे planning services आ गए, all the goods से तो हम देख ही रहे थे, अब groceries भी उसमें add on होने लग गया, medicines भी add on होने लग गया. So online commerce, what the CCI said that in their report that online commerce has gained more importance from all the sectors. Huge number of products, huge number of goods are sold online in India. These includes mobile phone, all types of electronic products and appliances, lifestyle goods and grocery too. Online and offline markets could be considered as a distinct market, and therefore online market alone may be characterized as a relevant market. Now there is one question, ये last line को याद रखना कि online and offline market could be considered as a distinct market. ये बोला गया है कि शायद ये दोनों बहुत ही अच्छे distinct market है, therefore online market alone can be characterized as the relevant market. क्या ये सही है क्या? ये last में हम देखेंगे. Now, जैसे मैंने कहा था कि why competition law, तो competition law में मैं कुछ point पे थी last time, जो मैंने आपको last इसमें बताया था कि why competition law is more complex और why competition law e-commerce के लिए या e-commerce को लेके इतना problematic क्यों होते जा रहा है. You know, first of all there is, आप देखते होंगे कि deep discounting यानी huge discount आपको देके attract किया जाता है, which the traditional market cannot provide the deep discounting. Then there is a search ranking. मैंने search ranking के बारे में भी आपको थोड़ा जब बताया था कि search ranking में ऐसा है कि आपको कुछ ही प्रोडक्ट सामने सामने दिखेंगे, आप जैसे नाम डालोगे तो आपको कुछ ही प्रोडक्ट्स ऊपर ऊपर दिखेंगे और कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स जो आपको दिखेंगे नहीं, आपको उसको सर्च करना पड़ेगा, बहुत उसका नाम डालना पड़ेगा, उसकी कंपनी का नाम डालना पड़ेगा, तब आपको वो दिखेगा. So there is no transparency की सर्च रैंकिंग कैसी रहेगी, ठीक है. और फिर उसके बाद है कि प्राइस पैरिटी कैसा रहेगा. फॉर एग्जांपल एक प्लेटफॉर्म में बहुत अच्छा प्राइस डिस्काउंट दिया है तो दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म में वैसा ही प्राइस क्यों नहीं है. So these are some of the issues that are coming up to the competition law. So Competition Commission of India, now their approaches are very different in different cases. Now coming to the Snapdeal case, अब Snapdeal case ऐसी थी जहाँ पे the Snapdeal Sandisk था, Sandisk and Snapdeal, Ahuja करके एक informant थे that they informed the CCI that the mail has been received from the Sandisk जो अपना पेन ड्राइव वगैरह जो मैन्युफैक्चर करता है, that Sandisk ने कहा है कि they have to take the no objection certificate if you want to sell it on the e platform or the any कौन सा भी platform में, where what the CCI was of the view that both offline and online markets differ in the terms of discount and shopping experience. Similarly, buyers weight the options available in both the market and decide accordingly. So यहाँ पे CCI का approach was very different, जहाँ पे उनका ये कहना था कि offline online market जो है they just provide a discount, they differ in their discount and shopping experiences, and it is all up to the customer कि customer will decide कि कहाँ अच्छा है कहाँ बुरा है, वो वहां जाएगा and customer will decide कि कहाँ से उसको लेना है. Again the view of the CCI was that the two markets online and offline are only different channel of distribution of the same product and do not constitute as a different relevant market. आंसर मिला होगा जो मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा आपको. तो इस केस में क्या बोला था सीसीआई ने कि ये टू मार्केट जो है ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन, ये कोई डिफरेंट चैनल नहीं है, बस एक सॉरी ये कोई डिफरेंट प्लेटफॉर्म्स नहीं है, ये बस एक तरीका है या एक मीडियम है जहां से डिफरेंट चैनल्स से डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ सेम प्रोडक्ट हो रहा है एंड आर डू नॉट कॉन्स्टिट्यूट एज अ डिफरेंट रेलेवेंट मार्केट. चूजिंग द एक्सक्लूसिव डीलर्स, ये भी एक वन ऑफ द इशू है कमिंग टू द सीसीआई कि चूजिंग द एक्सक्लूसिव डीलर्स or exclusive distributor, thereby refusing to deal with the other players in the market, leads to the foreclosure of the market for other players, has remained a prevalent conflict under the competition law. In the Mohit Mangalani case, where it is also called as a Flipkart case, इस केस में क्या था कि that the Chetan Bhagat book, that is Half Girlfriend, was exclusively available on Flipkart. Now the allegation was made by the Mohit Manglani was that if the exclusivity agreement is there between the Chetan Bhagat and Flipkart, it going to affect the competitors. It going to affect the competition also and may create the monopoly in the market. Monopoly in the market will be there. There will be the demand of demand of that book. There can be the manipulation of the demand of the books, or there can be the manipulation in the prices also. Now the CCI said that CCI did not agree with all these allegations and opined that an exclusive arrangement between the manufacturer and the e-portal would not create any entry barrier, so as most of the products as illustrated in the information to be sold through the exclusive e-partners, that is online platform, face competitive constraints. CCI was of the opinion that in the new commerce era, with the entry of the new e-portals into the market, the competition only seems to be growing and thereby allaying the anti-competitive concern. उनके approaches कि दोनों ऑफलाइन एंड ऑनलाइन, ब्रिक एंड मॉर्टर एंड द ई कॉमर्स आर जस्ट टू डिफरेंट मीडियम जहां पे सेम प्रोडक्ट्स आर सोल्ड और सेम प्रोडक्ट्स आर परचेज, बट इनके मेथड्स विल बी डिफरेंट. तो इन्होंने ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन मार्केट को कहीं से भी डिफरेंट डिस्टिंक्ट नहीं माना था. The same was shown in the Mohit Manglani Flipkart case, where it is said that कि allegation को माना नहीं, did not agree with the allegation and opined that the exclusive arrangement can be made between the manufacturer and the e-portals and it would not create any entry barrier to the other competitors. Okay, it all depends on the information which has been given by the manufacturer that it's to be sold to the one of कोई एक platform पे ही. मोस्ट कॉमन आप देखोगे ई कॉमर्स में जहां पे ये आपको दिखेगा कि एक्सक्लूसिविटी रहती है. मोबाइल फोन्स में आपको दिखेगा कि लॉन्च एक पर्टिकुलर मोबाइल फोन लॉन्च ओनली इन वन लॉन्चिंग इन ओनली वन प्लेटफॉर्म पे ही आपको दिखेगा, वो दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपको बाद में दिखेगा. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द एक्सक्लूसिव एग्रीमेंट्स दैट इज गोइंग ऑन एंड इस पे भी सीसीआई का क्या व्यू है, वी आर गोइंग टू सी दैट आल्सो. नाउ व्हाट आर द इश्यूज, जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कि सर्च रैंकिंग, प्राइस पैरिटी, एक्सक्लूसिव एग्रीमेंट एंड डीप डिस्काउंटिंग, ये चार फैक्टर्स है विच इज कंप्लीटली इतना बड़ा इश्यूज है इन द ई कॉमर्स कि इसे कैसे डील किया जाए, इसमें एविडेंसेस है क्या, क्या इसे माना जाए कि ये सच में एक इशू है. सो दिस इज ऑल द द गोइंग ऑन. अभी इसमें एक केस थी दिल्ली व्यापार संघ की केस अगेंस्ट अ बिग टेक कंपनी, जहां पे सीसीआई ऑर्डर द डीजी टू go for the investigation against all four जो हमने issues identify किए हैं, this issues के लिए उनको investigation का order दिया था. Against that order, कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट ने भी ग्रीन सिग्नल दिया सीसीआई के लिए, सीसीआई को इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने के लिए. नाउ द मैटर इज विद द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, सी की इसमें क्या आता है, बिकॉज दीज फोर के लिए, ये फोर जो है सर्च रैंकिंग, प्राइस पैरिटी, एक्सक्लूसिव एग्रीमेंट्स में भी आपने ऊपर देखा होगा जो फ्लिपकार्ट की ऑर्डर्स थी एंड स्नैपडील की जो केस थी जहां पे एनओसी आपको लेने को बोला था कि एनओसी लेके ही आप अपना प्रोडक्ट्स वहां पे सोल्ड कर सकते कि एनओसी आपको मैन्युफैक्चरर से लेनी पड़ेगी कि आपको. सो दीज सीसीआई हैज कंप्लीटली रिजेक्टेड एंड सेड दैट इट विल नॉट गोइंग टू अफेक्ट द कंपटीशन. ठीक है, so these are the issues. Now what is meant by price parity, and price parity क्या होती है? Price parity clause is a very important ये समझना बहुत जरूरी है। प्राइस पैरिटी इज वेरी विजिबल टू यू। आप अभी जब डेफिनेशन इसकी देखोगे प्राइस पैरिटी को, आपको समझ में आएगा कि अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म में ये ह्यूज डिफरेंसेस ऑफ प्राइस कैसे हैं। Parity clauses in essence oblige the seller retailer to offer on their market or the platform with the lowest price and or at the best terms, and thereby restricting the seller from offering the better price or better terms to the competing platforms or the marketplaces or on their own websites. So parity clauses are commonly categorized into their based on their scope and their effects. अब पैरिटी क्लॉज का देखो, आपको यहाँ पे पैरिटी क्लॉज के लिए आपको यहाँ पे दिस इज नॉट इन इंडिया, इट इज नॉट कंसीडर एज इलीगल और लीगल बिट। अब इसके ऊपर काफी चल रहा है कि ये जो डिफरेंसेस, अभी भी आपको वो डिफरेंसेस आपको दिखते हैं कि एक वेबसाइट में आपको काफी ज्यादा डिफरेंस दिख रहा है प्राइस का, और वो बहुत ही बेस्ट और बहुत ही लोएस्ट प्राइस में वही प्रोडक्ट दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म में मिलता है। क्यों नहीं, ये एक ही मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वाले लोग हैं तो वो एक ही जगह पे क्यों नहीं रहते? But in India, it is not considered as illegal or legal. Okay. I am in slide number 22. Okay. Exclusive agreements. Exclusive agreements, जैसे मैंने कहा था कि exclusive agreements कहाँ कहाँ आपको दिखेगा? In e-commerce platform are very commonly seen, especially in the mobile phone launches, जैसे मैंने आपको कहा, और उसमें एक deep discounting भी रहेगा उस such products में। आशीष आहूजा की वो केस थी जो स्नैपडील की केस थी एंड सैंडिस कॉर्पोरेशन की केस थी, where the CCI said that CCI did not agree with the allegation due to the lack of evidence on the competitive agreement, जो मैंने आपको पहले बताया था। CCI view was that the agreement between the manufacturer and the intermediary would not create any restriction for the other competitors to come. Okay, now slide number 23 पे हूँ मैं। Now CCI was of the view that the selling of the storage devices on the online portal via the authorized distributor cannot be considered as the abusive, as it is the right to protect this quantity of its distribution channel. According to CCI, in the quality-driven market, brand image, goodwill are important concerns, and it appears to be a prudent business policy that the sale of the products emanating from the unknown, very unverified, unauthorized sources are not encouraged or allowed. Now again, one of the case is the Snapdeal versus the Calf Appliances. अब इसमें थोड़ा सा उल्टा अप्रोच था। काफ अप्लायंसेस ने क्या किया था कि काफ अप्लायंसेस इलेक्ट्रॉनिक अप्लायंसेस का कंपनी है, वेयर द काफ अप्लायंसेस ने क्या किया कि उन्होंने कह दिया कि अगर कोई भी प्रोडक्ट्स ऑनलाइन सोल्ड हो रहा है तो वी विल नॉट प्रोवाइड द वारंटी कार्ड एंड वी आर नॉट लायबल और अकाउंटेबल फॉर ऑल सच थिंग। So Snapdeal informant ban gaya and has approached the CCI that it is having the coercive action in the calf appliances का coercive action है। Now what is the opinion of the CCI on it? CCI was of the view that the act of the calf appliances covered under section 3 subsection 4 of the Competition Act, and it amounts to coercive act. The appreciable adverse effect on the competition in the market of the supply was recognized by the CCI and as it was evident that it amounts to anti-competitive agreement that harms the consumer as well as the competition in India. अब Snapdeal की केस ले लो and same here the calf appliances के केस ले लो, दोनों के approaches are different, दोनों ने condition लगाई, लेकिन दोनों के लिए CCI के approaches different रहे हैं। That मोहित मंगलानी की केस में भी उन्होंने ये कहा था CCI has observed that the online commerce gives opportunity to consumer to compare the price as well as pros and cons of the products. Accordingly, deep discounting, अब ये deep discounting के बारे में था कि that accordingly deep discounting does not attract section 3 और section 4 of the Competition Act. So चारों issues के लिए जो व्यू थे सीसीआई के, इट्स कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट। चारों को वो माना नहीं था। अगर जो आपने केसेस देखी स्नैपडील की केस में भी उन्होंने देखा कि सीसीआई ने कहा कि देयर इज नो एंटी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्रीमेंट और इट ऑल अप टू द मैन्युफैक्चरर की कैसे वो प्लेटफॉर्म में लॉन्च करेगा। उन्होंने कंडीशन लगा दी सैंडिस ने कि यू हैव टू टेक द एनओसी फ्रॉम द मैन्युफैक्चरर इफ यू वांट टू सोल्ड इट ऑनलाइन. CCI said it is not the anti-competitive agreements. देन आप देखो काफ अप्लायंसेस में इनकी अप्रोच बिल्कुल अपोजिट रही, जहाँ पे काफ अप्लायंसेस ने भी बोल दिया था कि दैट इफ द प्रोडक्ट्स आर सोल्ड ऑनलाइन काफ अप्लायंसेस के, अगर वो मेरे प्राइस से ही काफ प्लेटफॉर्म में सोल्ड होंगे देन ओनली द वारंटीज विल बी गिवन, अगर नहीं, अगर उसके बिलो रहा या प्राइस बिलो रहा तो दैट विल नॉट बी अकाउंटेबल, एंड काफ अप्लायंसेस कोई वारंटी कार्ड वगैरह नहीं देगा। तो सीसीआई का अप्रोच यहाँ पे बिल्कुल अपोजिट रहा। तो सीसीआई का ये भी कहना है कि डीप डिस्काउंटिंग डज नॉट अट्रैक्ट द सेक्शन 3 एंड सेक्शन 4 ऑफ द consumer of the competition act. Now see the four issues that has been identified in the e-commerce, जो बहुत commonly आप देखते भी होंगे कि सर्च रैंकिंग भी एक है। सर्च रैंकिंग के लिए भी मैंने जैसे कहा कि सर्च रैंकिंग का कोई लॉ नहीं है कि कैसे सर्च रैंकिंग हो रही है, कैसे आपको वही प्रोडक्ट्स दिख रहे हैं जो हमको नहीं देखने, वो प्रोडक्ट्स ऊपर ऊपर दिखते जाते, क्या देयर इज एक्सक्लूसिव एग्रीमेंट्स रहते हैं, क्या कोई प्रिफर्ड प्लेयर्स या प्रिफर्ड सेलर्स इसमें रहते हैं क्या, या फिर डीप डिस्काउंटिंग अगर हम दे रहे हैं तो डीप डिस्काउंटिंग कितना डीप डिस्काउंटिंग देना है, वाई ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट क्यों नहीं वो वैसे टाइप की डिस्काउंटिंग दे पाता है। सो दीज आर ऑल द इश्यूज जहां पे सीसीआई का ये बोलना था कि हमारे पास ऐसे एविडेंसेस नहीं है। इसीलिए द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट केस जो अभी फाइल हुई है वो है दिल्ली व्यापार संघ की, जिसमें ये चार ही इश्यूज को लेके सीसीआई फर्स्ट टाइम गोइंग टू इन्वेस्टिगेट ऑल दिस बिग टेक कंपनीज। उसमें स्नैपडील भी है, उसमें मंत्रा भी है, उसमें फ्लिपकार्ट भी है, उसमें अमेजोन भी है। सो लेट्स सी कि क्या अप्रोचेस अडॉप्ट होता है, बिकॉज द मैटर इज सबजुडाइज, अभी भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन शुरू नहीं हुआ है। जब इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगा, उसकी जो रिपोर्ट आएगी, then we are going to see कि कैसे it affects the competition। अभी तो दिख रहा है कि that it is not going to affect any competition, कोई एंटी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्रीमेंट नहीं दिख रहा है इन लोगों को, ये सारी चीजें भी दिख रही है। लेकिन जब ऐसा कुछ होगा या रिपोर्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन की रिपोर्ट आएगी, we will be able to see कि क्या सीसीआई का अप्रोचेस है towards all these issues. Over to you, Padma. Thank you. I hope
Thank you
all
so
slides
much.
are visible to you, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. If anybody has any questions, please write in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask, please.
Participants, if you have any kind of questions, please ask Vijeta madam.
Yes, I can see the Rajiv
Muting
Gurnikar
yourself
sir.
or by writing it in the chat box.
See, Rajiv Gurnikar sir has, can we say that the e-commerce will replace the traditional business in the near future? Not at all. Not at all. नहीं होगा। कंज्यूमर पे डिपेंड रहेगा कि कंज्यूमर को कहाँ जाना है, दोनों ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल कंज्यूमर्स के पास रहने चाहिए ना। अभी क्या चल रहा है दिल्ली व्यापार संघ में, इन दैट केस एक बोला भी गया था कि लोग ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट में इसलिए आते हैं क्योंकि वो देखना चाहते हैं कि ये जो डिस्क्रिप्शन है ये दिखता कैसा है, उसको हाथ में पकड़ के देखते हैं, अच्छा ये ठीक है क्या, ये इसका साइज क्या है, फिर वो जाके ऑनलाइन परचेस करते हैं। सो समवेयर ये थोड़ा सा ट्रेडिशनल ब्रिक एंड मॉर्टर्स वालों को थोड़ा सा ये कंपटीशन फेयर नहीं लगता है।
That the feeling which is lacking in on trading, we cannot feel it.
यस, वो फील जो है ना, वो फील, लेकिन
yeah.
लेकिन लेकिन पद्मा, ये फील ना अभी धीरे धीरे क्या हो रहा है कि वी आर मोर ट्रस्टिंग ऑन ई कॉमर्स। हम लोग धीरे धीरे वही जा रहे हैं।
Yeah, right now we are moving towards
यस, मैंने कहा ना ये चार इशू जो है ना, ये तुम्हारा वो दिवाली सेल, बिग डिस्काउंट वगैरह, ये सारी चीजें ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट नहीं देगा आपको। ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट का इसमें क्या बोलना है कि ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट से इसकी वी हैव टू गिव पैसा भरना है, किराया देना है ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट्स का, प्लस ट्रेनिंग देनी है, वहां पे कौन कौन खड़ा रहेगा उसकी ट्रेनिंग देनी है, कौन उनके सर्वेंट रहेंगे, कौन सेल्समैन रहेंगे, ये सारी चीजें आर मिसिंग इन द इंटरमीडिएरीज में या ई कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म में।
Ma'am, can we say that by increasing the shopping via online mode, also it is we can say that an increasing in cyber fraud or cyber crimes, which is resulting in the cyber fraud or cyber crime.
नहीं, हाँ बिल्कुल बोल सकते हैं, लेकिन प्रोडक्ट्स को लेके रहेगा, वो जो भी रहेगा, ट्रांजैक्शंस को लेके नहीं है। इसीलिए अगर देखो फर्स्ट स्लाइड में प्रेडिक्शंस जो दिया था ई कॉमर्स का प्रेडिक्शन इतना ज्यादा डबल हो गया है बिकॉज वी आर ट्रस्टिंग मोर ऑन ई कॉमर्स। अब ई कॉमर्स क्यों ट्रस्ट करते हैं? इतने अच्छे से डिटेल्स आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन देंगे वो लोग, इजी पॉलिसी रहेगी, आपके घर में आके आपको सामान देके जाएंगे, नहीं पसंद आया
But
तुरंत
yes,
रिटर्न
there is
करके
an
लेके
easy
जाएंगे।
way to fraud also, ma'am.
यस वो है मैं मानती हूँ, इजी वे टू है फ्रॉड, बट थोड़ा लेस है ई कॉमर्स के मैटर में। हाँ, ट्रांजैक्शंस को रिलेटेड हो सकता है।
Yeah. Yes, I am talking about online.
हाँ, ट्रांजैक्शंस को रिलेटेड, यस।
Ma'am, I had a question that the 2019 Consumer Protection Act has also started to deal with e-commerce transactions, like e-commerce under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. So,
rules are there.
how much is the overlapping, or how is it? Is it an addition of what CCI is doing, or is there any overlap, or is there any difference between the two?
Are you asking about this the difference, ये दोनों कैसे डील कर रहे हैं
Yes.
e-commerce को?
Yes. So,
See,
is there any overlap with the working, or is there completely different?
No,
Or
no,
is it an
it's not
addition,
overlapping. Different. Why different? Consumer protection rules for the e-commerce is based on the consumer. Consumer का protection कैसे करना है? So there you can see the duties of the marketplace. जो marketplace मैंने आपको बताया था, जो intermediaries है, वो marketplace की duties वहाँ define की गई है कि आपको क्या क्या करना है। और सेम आपको दिखेगा आईटी एक्ट के अंदर जो डिजिटल एथिक कोड्स है। आई थिंक किसका तो भी टॉपिक है यहाँ पे, किसने तो भी लिया हुआ है वो टॉपिक। फिर उसके बाद आप देखो कंपटीशन ना, कंपटीशन के 4 ही पिलर है। तो 4 पिलर है, एंटी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्रीमेंट्स नहीं होना चाहिए, जो हम लोग देख रहे हैं एक्सक्लूसिव एग्रीमेंट। मोबाइल फोन लॉन्च हो रहा है एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म में, तो वो एक प्लेटफॉर्म में लॉन्च होने के बाद कुछ समय बाद वो दूसरे जगह आपको दिखाई देगा। फिर डीप डिस्काउंटिंग है। तो कंप्लीटली अप्रोच इज दैट कि हेल्दी कंपटीशन शुड बी देयर। डिफरेंट अप्रोचेस आर देयर। Padma, over to you.
Something, Navjot, before read to any statute or any law, you have to read the objectives of the law. See, the objectives of Consumer Protection Act is totally different from the objectives of competition law. है ना?
Yes.
अलग बात करते हैं, दोनों के ऑब्जेक्टिव अलग है, टोटली डिफरेंट है। So, Competition Act is talking about the fair competition shall be in the market, and the Consumer Protection Law is talking about the to protect the rights of consumer, then to inform them. So, both statutes are talking differently. Okay. Any more questions?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Yes. Ankit.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
ma'am. I have one question, rather seeking a comment from you. Considering the peculiar preferences and the dynamic efficiencies which e-commerce market has and the traditional market has, why not, according to you, we should consider the e-commerce as the perfect, means different relevant market, and the traditional market as a different relevant market?
I consider it as a different relevant market because the policy they have, the policy is their own policies. कब क्या करना है, कब डिस्काउंट देना है, कब मुझे सेल लगानी है, दिस इज नॉट, ये दोनों बहुत डिफरेंट मार्केट्स है।
Correct.
एंड ऑब्वियसली बात है कि इट्स ऑल डिपेंड ऑन कंज्यूमर। आफ्टर ऑल कंज्यूमर के लिए ही है सब कुछ, एंड प्रोडक्ट आप कंज्यूमर को ही मान के चलिए,
Ma'am, but
उन्हीं को
CCI
सेटिस्फाई
held that,
करना है।
but the CCI held that both the market should be considered as, not as separate market.
Yes, see, that's why I said कि दिल्ली व्यापार संघ का जो अभी जो केस है ना, that is supposed to be, wait and watch कि what investigations of reports आती है, क्योंकि अब तक उनका ओपिनियन था कि ये दोनों मार्केट तो सेम है, सेम प्रोडक्ट्स बेचने हैं, अलग अलग तरीके से बेच रहे हैं। तो लेट्स सी, अब तक उन्होंने बिल्कुल ध्यान नहीं दिया, मतलब सीसीआई के अप्रोचेस, मैं ये नहीं बोल सकती कि ध्यान नहीं दिया, तो सीसीआई अप्रोचेस वर डिफरेंट। अब देखो, अब सीसीआई का अप्रोच यहाँ क्या होता है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन में क्या पता चलता है, दैट अदर क्लास में ये सब डिस्कस हो सकता है जब रिपोर्ट आती है।
Yes, okay, ma'am. Thank you. And ma'am, one more thing. I will be researching upon the dynamic efficiencies and the merger and acquisition.
I
Which is
know that competition, right? Section 6.
Yes, ma'am. The
I
US
hope.
competition law and the Indian competition law. can you
Okay.
help me with can you tell me just that who is the authority for the Indian competition law and the US competition law, which comes to when it comes to the merger acquisition and dynamic efficiencies? Like it
See,
is
both
pretty so
CCI
much narrowed
as well as
down.
company law, both. Now see, I think the other lecture is of technology and competition of
Yes, ma'am.
Vijay Singh's, है ना, Padma?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes,
2nd
yes.
August.
So
And for Ankit, for
Yes, ma'am.
listing entities, SEBI is also there. Huh?
yes,
Follow
but
Yes,
the
for
ma'am.
rules
company law,
of
yes,
SEBI.
company law, CCI,
Yeah.
SEBI, ये सारे आएंगे.
Okay, ma'am, can
और
you tell
आपको
me the means authoritative work means from the academia, like any author, can you prescribe me a name of any author or a particular website as such, which you as a competition law student should always refer to, something like that?
you should refer to the reports of
Website
the
है ना
CCI.
अंकित?
इनकी सबकी ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट है, they
हाँ?
provide all the notes there, right, Padma?
Okay.
या SEBI की है, कंपनी की
CCI की है.
अपनी वेबसाइट है.
Yeah, ma'am, but for US
They are
antitrust law,
posting
they don't
updated
provide anything on their
information.
website.
Yes.
But for US antitrust law, their website is not as much, maintained by
Helpful.
the CCI.
ट्रांसपेरेंट और नहीं होगा. अच्छा,
Yes,
बुक्स
yes.
के नाम ना, सो आई विल लेट यू नो आफ्टरवर्ड की बुक्स और कौन से कंपैरेटिव स्टडी कर रहे हो क्या आप? दोनों का
Yes, ma'am.
कंपैरेटिव स्टडी रहेगा ना?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Comparative and critical
मैं
of US and India.
ठीक है ना, आई लेट यू नो द बुक्स. ओके,
Okay. I will write you email for that request.
yeah, definitely.
Ankit,
you, sir.
we
You
will
can come to department also,
yes.
Ankit. You can come to our department, we can help you.
Okay, ma'am.
Good,
Sure.
good evening,
Padma,
ma'am.
you were saying something.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
हाँ राजीव जी बोलिए.
One more question is that can we say e-commerce will replace this traditional business in near future in India?
हाँ, मैंने आपका क्वेश्चन बोला था ना कि मैं नहीं मानती कि ये रिप्लेस करेगा और ई कॉमर्स, क्योंकि ये फीलिंग जो है ना, जैसे पद्मा ने आइडेंटिफाई किया कि फीलिंग मिसिंग रहेगा, ये फीलिंग को बरकरार रखेगा ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट. रिप्लेस नहीं होगा, ये ध्यान रखे, रिप्लेस नहीं होगा. हाँ, कंपटीशन टफ रहेगी दोनों के बीच में, बट रिप्लेस नहीं हो पाएगा. पद्मा?
Yes.
It is 5:15.
Excuse me.
Participants, if you have any queries, we will forward you Vijeta madam's email ID and we will forward your questions as well.
रविंद्र सर, आपका क्या क्वेश्चन है?
Ma'am, since I belong to medical field, my question is related to medicines only. What is the future of therapeutic medicine, generic medicine in e-commerce, ma'am?
See, even in
Most
on
of the
e-commerce,
doctors,
you know,
yeah.
most e-commerce they are asking for the prescription. Prescription के बिना वो देने भी वाले नहीं हैं, ठीक है? And you know, जैसे मैंने कहा कि वो ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट और e-commerce ये दोनों के बीच में एक फीलिंग रहती है. इसे यहाँ पे ये मेडिसिन के इसमें इमरजेंसी रहती है. रुकते तो नहीं बैठोगे ना कि वो कब जाके मेरे को डिलीवर करेगा, दूसरे दिन लाएगा, कि ना मेडिसिन है कि इतनी इमरजेंसी रहती है, हम लोग भाग के ले सकते हैं. तो यहाँ पे फार्मेसी आप देखो, अभी फार्मेसी का आप देखोगे तो कोविड-19 के समय पे फार्मेसी काफी अच्छा बिजनेस करा. ठीक है, थैंक यू.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of Postgraduate Teaching Department of Law, RTMNU, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Dr. Vijeta Uke, to share her expertise and knowledge on e-commerce in India. And thank you, ma'am, for explaining the topic very well and going through the nitty-gritties of e-commerce and some case laws which are very relevant. I think most of us are not very well aware of this domain of law or has less knowledge. So thank you so much for giving us, enlightening us on this topic. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the session.
Thank you, participant, for joining our PhD course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.